Good day, everybody! Does anybody know where we are today? I'm actually alone right now, but I will have my boyfriend joining me afterwards. We are at Crozon, on the far west of Brittany. Let's have a look where that is. This is our lovely Brittany, and this is Crozon. You can see that it kind of has three fingers, one on the north, one on the west, and one on the south. And today we are visiting the far west finger, this one. Funny, but it looks like we have another three fingers, 3 points, called Point de Grande Croix, Point de Goulinette, and Point de Penir. And our goal today is to make a circle connecting all three of them. This is my recording from this day. It looks like I did 2 small circles because I had to go back to the car to pick up my boyfriend. This is Camaret-sur-Mer, a seaside town of around 2,500 inhabitants. The town is known for this tower called Tour de Vauban. It is an 80-meter tall tower constructed by a French military engineer, Vauban. This battery is also a project of Vauban and part of a grand defense system of Brest. Vauban's towers, ramparts, batteries, like this one, and many other military buildings can be found throughout all France. He was working for the king himself, and his publications were used as a curriculum for Royal Military Engineering Corps. Many of these buildings are registered by UNESCO, and the Tower of Camaret that you have seen is one of them. I like Crozon a lot because of its savage nature. Even though there are sandy beaches around, most of the coast are impressive cliffs and rocks. There in the distance, you can see the entrance to Brest. You might be wondering, what were they defending here? Brest was, and still is, a military port of great importance. What we see on a video is a narrow passage here. That is the only way to enter the big bay of Brest, which is a great place to settle ports, civil ones, but military ones as well. So it was very important to protect it, and remnants of that are all over Crozon. Some of them are still used by the military, as Brest remains one of the 3 naval bases of France, other 2 being Toulon and Cherbourg. And here, on l'île d'Oulon, is one of the 2 submarine bases of France, the other one being in Toulon, while Cherbourg is only constructing submarines. That there is another battery. Everybody, sorry for the shaky image. I wanted to film and walk. I think you get it by now, what it is when I say Savage Coast. I had to go a bit inland to just quickly get back to the car. These ruins belong to the manor of a French poet, Saint-Paul Rieu, who lived at the change of 19th and 20th century. He moved here from Paris to find more peaceful environment, constructed this manor in a Baroque style, and continued his work. However, during the occupation in 1940, a drunk German soldier broke in and assaulted the poet, and he ended up in a hospital. A few days later, he returned home to find his home being robbed and all his unpublished work gone. He died of the heart attack there. Some would say he died of a broken heart. Manor was burned down in 1944 as a consequence of war, just a few days before liberation. These megaliths are proof of Crozon being inhabited for millennia. They were erected around 3300 BC, some maybe even older. There is an interesting theory that their orientation corresponds to the constellation of Pleiad. The first written records from the 18th century count as much as 600 stones, but 100 years later, in 18th century, records state only a couple of dozen. As most of the stone was destroyed, those that stayed were mainly laying down. So the decision was made to lift them up, and those are the ones we see today. They form one straight line, this one here, and then they have two short lines under the right angle. This is one line, and this here is the other one. We are back on the coast. Behind that wall we are not allowed to go, and that is under military control. This is the Tower of Tulingit. Originally, fortifications were done by Vauban as well, but the tower was constructed during the Wars of Napoleon in 19th century. In 1952, a semaphore was built within the fortifications, which still monitors the passage of the ships, provides radio communication, and is used for meteorological observations. This is the semaphore. Those are the ruins we have seen before. Other people had the same idea as the poet and constructed their houses on the top of the cliffs. Far away from the waves, but with the beach in front and the amazing view. We climbed our way to the cliffs on the other side, and we're continuing along the trail. These batteries here have different age. Some were made in the 19th century, some in 1932 by French, and some are casemates built by Germans during the occupation. One of those casemates is turned into Atlantic Battle Memorial Museum. These anchors are part of the exhibition. And there is the museum itself. On many spots here you will find trails which are forbidden for access. The reason for some is deterioration of ground and risk of collapse, while the other reason, like this one here, is the protection of the vegetation. People tend to walk over this lower vegetation, thus destroying it, and afterwards erosion is taking its toll on these beautiful cliffs. All the Star Wars fans there, doesn't this remind you of Planet Actor? I know it was filmed in Ireland, but it resembles a lot. Do you see the climbers there? This cross is a monument to all Bretons who gave their lives in the Second World War. It takes place of the old lighthouse, which was destroyed in the war. And we have arrived at the end point of our walk, Pont de Penir. For me, this is the most impressive part of the landscape we have seen today. My first idea was to go to the very end, but in fact, there is a drop here that prevents further movement. Down there, where that person is standing, is the furthest you can go on a regular trail. Afterwards, it turns to climbing. One day, maybe we do that. This was just a small part of Crozon. I'm definitely going to come back and do more videos for you. Did you enjoy this video? If you did, leave a like or comment. See you next time!